Alright, so I can't believe that I'm about to say this, but Outriders might just be one of the most important releases of 2021, and not just that, it might just be one of the most important games for both the company People Can Fly and us, the players. We have some pretty awesome numbers right now. We're gonna check those here in this video. Yes, the numbers are climbing every single day, and it seems that every single day Outriders is breaking another record. We're gonna compare those with other similar games in the looter shooter genre, but I also want to talk about the current, stability issues with the servers. Yes, it's still not really that ongoing because they finally addressed it in part, and we will also talk about some other cool news and updates from both the dev teams and other news sources as well. So let's jump right into it. Anyway, right now, if you check the Steam charts, the game is doing really well. Like at the time of making this video, there's only 80,000 people playing with a peak concurrent of 125,000, which again increased by about 6,000 to 7,000 since the video I did like 12 hours ago or 15 hours ago. I can't really remember, but honestly, this is amazing news. We're gonna compare those numbers in just a little bit because it's gonna make a ton of sense, but as GameRant notes as well, Outriders hits highest concurrent player count as servers finally stabilize. So after a misstep on Saturday due to server issues, Outriders concurrent players count totally climbs to new heights on Steam, not just according to the developers, by the way, according to the Steam charts graphic alone. So yes, we have that right in front of us. Early indications show that Outriders had a very successful launch despite the first several days since the game's launch seeing intermittent server issues that would leave players unable to access the game for brief or extended periods of time. As we also talked here in my region, if you're in Eastern Europe, you probably can't play from about 8 in the evening. You're not gonna be able to play at all, like almost at all. Well, up until today or yesterday, because it finally started addressing itself, and yes, even the team notes servers today are looking fine, and we're at our highest concurrent player peak to date. Yeah, that doesn't sound like such a bad deal. As a matter of fact, it sounds pretty freaking awesome. So I do want to compare some of these numbers with other similar games because it looks pretty impressive for a game that did not aim to be too high. Like the developers even before this were trying to yeah, we just hope the game turns right and hopefully it, at least brings us some profit so we can at least tell more stories about it. Well, I think that their dream right now has at least partially been completed because there's 125,000 all-time peak players with an 87,000 concurrent right now. And by the way, this is the downtime. We're about to see the full numbers again in about like 5 hours, maybe even more from this point on. But I just want to compare it with other similar games, starting with the Borderlands series, and officially it somehow passed Borderlands 2 out of all of the games. I did not even expect, honestly, to get this close, and Borderlands 2 is an amazing game, was an amazing game. It still gets regular like 5,000 people to play every single day, and it's like almost close to the current 24 hours peak for Borderlands 3, which is a much newer game. And even compared to Borderlands 3, at least on Steam, they did not peak over 100k concurrent, so that is absolutely amazing. At least that's, in my view, a really big achievement for a team that was hoping to at least get some traction with everything that they were doing. And keep in mind that this game is right now $1 to play on the Xbox if you have the Game Pass and whatnot, so probably the numbers out there will be even higher than this. Also, compared to Warframe, it's pretty interesting. It's catching up definitely. Warframe is an amazing game too, but it had a concurrent of 154,000 at the max, and we're getting close to that. Maybe if the trend continues, by next week we will get to finally match it. Of course, it's still pretty far off from something like Destiny, which is more than double of that, but you know what, I'm going to take it. Destiny is pretty much the killer right now, the leader and whatnot, though I would be interested to see what the actual numbers look like when you get all of the platforms and combine them, because just judging by the server issues, I'm pretty sure that some of these were at least partially caused by the huge influx of players that wanted to play Outriders at the very same time. So it's pretty interesting to see how this story unfolds over the next few weeks. Like, for example, as Game Rant notes, what's going to be exciting is to watch how Outriders numbers progress over the next week. Valheim, for example, which is an amazing game as well. I keep saying that word, but I played Valheim and I just loved it. I still love it, but you know, I kind of dropped it off for many reasons. Took nearly 3 weeks to reach its peak concurrent players count due to the word of mouth helping the game grow. So this is what happens when you create a game that is good, that is fun to play, that keeps you engaged, and you want to just see more of it. Like, if you look at the #1 reason why people got mad, it's not as much as the server issues as it is the fact that they are prevented from playing in the first place. And it sucks, but there's a big reason behind that. If it flopped, if nobody liked it, they would have just abandoned it and move over to a different game, which is not the case, as the game is continuously breaking new records. So I'm definitely glad for the People Can Fly team. I definitely love seeing this small team doing as much as they can to get some traction, but they get rewarded because they simply did things at least mostly right. Well, with the very least this exception, like, did the developers really forget to put a character marker on the map? Because I must not be the only one who has sometimes small difficulties in navigating the map, especially when trying to notice where is what part and where is the other one. Like, I was definitely stuck in a few occasions trying to go to a bounty, for example, when in the end I ended up in a completely different location because the map doesn't make that clear, like where I am currently in the game. So maybe they also missed this among some of the other things that they could have added as well. But it's also unfortunate that the developers are the ones that are catching the full flack of all of the outrage and not the publisher, for example, which from my understanding is the one that actually is handling the servers. So I'm not really sure exactly who the blame falls on, but I don't think it's okay to like go in and throw hate at these people. Maybe just leaving a review and saying that the technical issues are preventing you from playing would be enough, but like death threats and like just, you know, cussing at people for no reason when those people might not even personally be responsible, I don't think that's such a good idea. Nonetheless, former Sea of Thieves community manager offers support for the Outriders team. So the replies give me major flashbacks to when I launched Sea of Thieves with a team of CMs at Rare, and she notes that the abuse they got was so damaging that the company literally had to hire a psychologist to give all of them group therapy. And seriously, it's crazy. Yeah, it definitely affects you personally when you see even one person leaving a bad comment, let alone like hundreds of people just blasting at you, and you're trying to do your best to bring the game up to shape. And it's definitely something that the team is trying to do. Now, of course, this isn't the only thing we're going to talk about. We do have some other game issues and workarounds, so at least 2 of them are pretty important right here. First of all, we're going to talk about the servers. So our servers are continuing to improve as the team is working hard to stabilize them long term. Should you encounter any further connectivity issues, just check the status over there. But of course, the servers were pretty stable yesterday, at least for most of the people trying to play. Now, for anyone stuck in the signing in screen, which I believe is quite a number of you guys, there is actually a way to bypass this, and that will, at least on the consoles, imply a full cache clear. So on the consoles, a full cache clear is done in the following way. Please power cycle your console and clear your cache by turning your console off completely, not just in rest mode. Then unplug it for a few minutes, this step is important, and then try again. Basically, turn on, turn off. That's it. Well, actually the other way around. Turn off and then turn on. It makes a lot more sense. And another one would be for when you get stuck trying to continue or progress from the lobby. If you get stuck in that situation, like getting stuck at 80%, for example, there is a potential workaround. So from the lobby, instead of selecting continue, select a starting point and acknowledge, then launch. So simply go, choose a starting point in any of the maps, and then choose to play that location, and that would be enough. So yeah, it seems that there was quite a high number of players for which this method actually worked and they got unstuck, but if it didn't for you, totally let me know in the comment section down below. Also, on the same note, I would really like to know at what point are you in the Outriders game or story. Like, are you high level? Are you already in the end game? Have you progressed through any of that? Totally let me know in the comment section down below. In the meantime, this has been it for today. Thanks so much for watching. As always, if you enjoyed this video at any point, it would be super awesome if you left a like on it, subscribed and activated that notification bell, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one.